Welcome to React workshop. Yeah, and this is going to be, I'm going to be talking based on from a beginner's perspective. So let's start. I'm Dawodu, and I'm a software developer from IVYARC Africa. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter. And yeah, I'm going to be your speaker for today. So basically, we'll be talking on React JS from a beginner's perspective. So I know a lot of beginners after trying to solve through HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then you find out there's still more to go React. And some people will say, oh, React is quite scary. I need to know a lot of JavaScript before I get started, and keep delaying their entry into React JS. So I'm here to just like ease your flow into React JS and get you ready. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, like I said, a lot of developers, probably beginners that have done HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, they wonder, why do I need React? Since I can already create websites with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so why do I need React? That means by the end of this particular workshop, you would be able to know the reason why you need React, and probably see the reason why React is very important. Yeah, so the focus for this workshop is understanding React fundamentals. So yeah, let's start with the question, what is React? So React is basically a JavaScript framework, like a superset of JavaScript, and is used for front-end web development. It was created in 2013 by Facebook, but 2013, that's in the 20s. And wasn't web application existing before then? My ask yourself, oh, isn't there a website before 2013? At least I know some people that are older than that have been born before 2013, and they'll be like, I can remember I used the internet before then. So yes, there was the internet, but what led to the invention of React, since there was already the internet? So yeah, I'm going to tell you the history of the web. Let's start. So yeah, there is something called the first generation of the web. It's called Web 1, and I'm sure you would have heard Web 1, the story of Web 1, Web 2, and you see a lot of people putting Web 3 stuff up and down at the moment. So it's just basically how the internet is evolving. It has been evolving since ages before you were born, or probably the internet did not exist before then. So yeah, the generation of the first generation of the web was static. So it was almost like a newspaper. You go there for information, data information, and at the end of the day, just read and write, read and write. There was nothing you could do with it. Just go there to consume information. So yeah. Okay. So the problem with this is that developers' creativity was limited with JavaScript. So at the time when there was Web 1, it's not that the developers don't want to be creative, but there was a problem. There were different browsers existing at that time. Say, for example, Internet Explorer, there's Edge, there's Chrome. So there are different browsers. So as they are creating content for the web, they have to say, oh, if they want to use JavaScript, they have to make sure it works in all of these browsers. So that is called cross-browser compatibility problem. So, and for JavaScript to work, that is to be able to modify and create and update anything, which is called DOM manipulations in different browsers. You have to contend with that. So having to contend with browser compatibility in different browsers did not give developers the free will to create a dynamic website or start interacting, making people interact with the website, because it comes with a lot of edits. So yeah, fast forward to when jQuery was born, or the birth of jQuery. Yeah. So jQuery simply created this creativity freedom because it solved the problem of that cross-browser compatibility problem. It solved the whole issue. And yeah, jQuery created a new syntax that works across all browsers to make DOM manipulation easier. So basically, the purpose of jQuery is to make it much easier to use JavaScript on your website. So I'm simply telling you a story. So yeah, let's move. So yeah, jQuery already created the solution to cross-browser compatibility. So developers started having different ideas. They want to create e-commerce websites. They want to create chat application where someone will say hello, the other person will say hi. They a lot of things start coming in, and they start building big libraries, a lot of big libraries with JavaScript. So then there was a problem, like, how do I organize these files? So it's not basically like they don't know maybe to put A on top of B or to put B on top of C. No. The problem with this organization is that how are they supposed to know that if I want to check the files that has to do with maybe the users, I have to come to this place. If I want to check the files that has to do with maybe the other user. So basically different problems start coming in, and for you to be able to troubleshoot sorry, on your code, you have to face a lot of problems with the organization and all. So yeah, then a lot of solutions started coming up. Backbone JS came up, Angular JS came up also. They were helping to like, okay, I think this is the way the thing is supposed to be arranged. Put one to the model, put view, put the controllers in separate folders, and that way you know, okay, all of the views that the the user is going to see are going to be in this folder. All the models that used to create these views will be in this folder, and then the controller, what is controlling this particular thing. So they were just creating different solutions upon each other. So for Facebook, there was somebody that had a lot of problems, which was Facebook. They had more problems because, you know, if a particular user, I'm sorry. So they had a lot of issues that, okay, for example, you just added a new friend, then the new friend has to, you have to update your friend list and say, okay, my friend is no more 120, they are now 121. And then at the same time, you have to see a new post that your friend just made. So there were a lot of files that were talking to each other. There were a lot of things. When you click this place, this one has to react, this one has to come up, this one, or like a lot of things going on. So Facebook could not keep up with the organization, with the bugs and all, because every time Facebook wants to like create a new update, there must be a bug, it must crash, and they must start saying, oh, this one is supposed to be on top of these, this is supposed to be on top of these. So a lot of stack problems started arising. So yeah, Facebook had a lot of issues. So then they decided that, you know what, we are not just going to keep updating this particular Facebook and facing bugs with each updated version. Let's just like revisit the whole problem. Let us start all over again. And then they created a new solution, outside the box solution, like I call it Reacr JS. So you're wondering, okay, so what does React do? Is it like a superpower? Does it have superpower and all? So yeah, React actually has superpowers. So let's move to the next one. So what makes React unique? Number one, React handles cross-browser compatibility issues for you, and just wanted to focus on UI. You know that problem that jQuery solved the other time, because Facebook was looking for all-in-one solution. So they were like, instead of me using jQuery, let's solve this one after the other. So they picked the cross-browser compatibility problem and they solved it also. They said, so you know what, but we'll not solve it the way jQuery does it. We are going to use a declarative approach. So the declarative approach they use, you're going to be seeing it as I move on through the slide. So anyways, they use a declarative approach in which means that they don't, you as a developer, you don't have to worry about cross-browser compatibility issues. You just have to focus on the UI. While React does this automatically for you, it just handles it. So that is called the declarative approach, unlike jQuery, which is called the imperative approach. So it's a really unique property of React. So yeah, let's move to the next one. Yeah. So this declarative approach, what it does is that React saves the previous state of the website in a virtual DOM. So basically, let's imagine that okay, you have a website that keeps updating like Facebook. So what React does is that it maybe saves a screenshot of what the website currently look like. So then when a user maybe clicks a button or add a new friend, it's going to also save that particular screenshot of what is supposed to happen. Maybe, okay, something just happened. You had a new friend. So it's going to screenshot is that, oh, this person just added a new friend. And this is what the previous website looks like. Please make these changes. So just imagine like a bot is gathering these changes between the two virtual DOMs. And after each event, it will go to the DOM, which is maybe adding a friend, goes to a DOM and apply the changes for you. So simply, that was how React got its name, because when a change is made, it compares the before and after of the virtual DOM and simply reacts to it. So you get that. So that's where the name React actually came from, or so I thought. So React uses a declarative approach, which is one unique property of React. So yeah, the second unique property of React is React build websites like Lego blocks. So if you know Lego blocks, this is what a Lego block looks like. So it's basically building something step by step. You should have younger ones that have used this, or maybe you should have seen this. So if you want to build a house, you can simply take it, scatter everything and start building your house one after the other. So it allows creativity. Imagine you could break a website into different blocks like this and then put them together. How easy would that be? So then React gives you that freedom to break websites into Lego blocks, put smaller components together to build bigger applications, reuse the components in the same project or another project. So yeah, this is an example of what React does. Imagine this is a particular application. Okay, let's start from here. This is a particular application that has this particular brown component as this one. So you can simply reuse this in another place. See, this brown is also something you can reuse here, maybe make it wider. This particular chart, okay, it's not here. So this particular block, the way this one is small, you can reuse it in each other like that. So this is an example of reusable components in websites. Here is another example. So maybe you have a particular website that has these big blocks. You could put one here, and this one also, you could reuse it maybe in a mobile application. You could remove this particular profile, use it elsewhere. So they are not like images though, but they are called components. So when you break it into Lego blocks, they are called components. So you can put one component on top of each other and just build your website like that. So how easier would that be, instead of having a long page of HTML? So this is actually more easier. So yeah, let's reflect on what React has done so far. React currently solves cross-browser compatibility problem. It solves the architecture problem. So, but what about the main issue, which is keeping dynamic changes, which is when you add a friend, the friend counter should update, you should start saying your friend's post, you should, or maybe chat, and then the chat should send to the next person, person say hello, you should say hi. So those dynamic changes, how do React also handle that? Here, let's move to the next one. So React came up with some features called state and props. So state is used to store properties that are dynamic, probably like a user logged in, like counter, message notification, update a friend list. So you basically save this up in a state. After you save it up in a state, then props, maybe you want to reuse this particular state and say, okay, this is page 1. And I've showed you that, okay, a user logged in here. And then in page 2, I also want to tell page 2 that, hey, tell the whole page on this website that a user has just logged in. So probably like making an echo, like user logged in all the pages. So when you go to a page, it shows content according to what the state currently is, meaning that a user just logged in. So I should show you a state showing you maybe the protected route before. I should show you the protected route. They should be opened to you. Whereby a like counter, when you click on those love button on Instagram or the like feature on Facebook, when you click on it, there should be like an echo around the whole website that she has clicked on this particular content before. So wherever she sees this content, a like should still remain there. A message notification, how does it know that, okay, there's currently 4 notifications? So those things, those dynamic changes, they are saved in a state. So maybe you want to reuse these states in a place, you could use props, but mainly a prop is used to like pass dynamic data across components. So maybe, well, let me go to the next example. So, okay, this is a live example of a state. You just accepted a friend request. Your friend list or counter must be updated, and you should be able to see your new friend. We've talked about this. Just like the way Facebook works, use the like, comment, share. Just keeping states of what the website currently looks like. So yeah, another thing that makes React unique is this unidirectional data flow, which is data can only flow in one direction. It makes bugs easier, way easier, because imagine you have a component here and you created a particular state in this component. The component, this particular state, you cannot say because this component, I can pass data to components using props. You should now put props and be expecting that this like counter will go up. It can never go up. It can only come down. So you see, you can definitely use this like counter in component theory using props. So when it comes to component theory, you can reuse this like counter. Can come to components for use the like counter. You can use it down like that. So imagine you have a bug in component theory and you're wondering what you can easily trace where the source is coming from like that, because you know, okay, it has to be everything underneath. It is not everything above it. So making bugs is easier to catch. That's one thing React made possible with the unidirectional data flow. So yeah, the interesting part of it, let's do the Simple React project. So yeah, before we build the project, there should be some things you should know. A lot of people argue concerning, should I do a class-based component? Should I do functional-based component? So before you could pick a particular style to write your React component, you should know what you are comfortable with. So based on your level of JavaScript, you should pick a method for yourself. So if you are comfortable using object-oriented programming, or you are comfortable using ES6 syntax features, and object-oriented programming is like classes, constructors, these, inheritance, and then for functional components, you use arrow functions, you use let, const, import, export. So you need to know which one you are comfortable with, and you just pick that one as your style, at least to start with, because you need to know how to use it to actually, based on wherever you find yourself. You should be able to use class components or functional components, come what may. So yeah, to start a React project, you simply need to do npx create React app and the name of the app. So currently the name of my app is the Tasty Restaurant, and then you move to that folder by using this command cd, the Tasty Restaurant. So it can be maybe e-commerce website, and then you do npm start. And this is going to trigger a React environment. It's going to open it up, maybe in your preferred code editor. And me, I'm currently using VS Code. So when I opened a React project, these are the things I'm going to see in my React project. And all you have to do is don't get scared. You might go through them and just look at what it does. And this is currently a React, a default React environment. This is what it looks like. But to get started, you need to do some things. You need to delete some things. You remember the app.test.js, delete it. The logo.svg, only if you want to maybe use React logo in some of your projects, and you should put it in an appropriate folder. The setup.test, setup.test.js, you can delete it. You can clear your app.js, app.css, clear all the CSS there, if not, it's going to create problems for you. And then in the app.js, everything in this div container you cleared, because formally you could see a lot of things that is there, just something to not make the whole website empty, the whole folder or the environment empty. So they put all of these things there. So I cleared them, and this is what I have. So with this, you should be able to start working on React. Yeah. So yes, I'm going to copy this and post it in the group on the chat. Let me just escape this. And yeah. Oh, okay. The Zoom meeting is about to join. It's about to end in 3 minutes. So probably should just end this one and we pick it up from the replit. So we can just start with the replit in the next one. So let me just stop sharing. Aaron, you can start with the next meeting. So everybody leave this one and join the next meeting. Right there. So I'm going to drop this in.
Yeah, so I've dropped the link to the replit in case you want to join me. But to better if you join with maybe your laptop, because it's currently just what's it called? Only responsive on desktop. um, yeah, desktop versions and not the mobile versions. So yeah, let me so yes, let me show you what so now it's time to start working with React JS. I've deleted those things. Probably I have an empty React environment. So now to start working with React. So let me show you an example of a functional component. So yeah, this an example of a functional component. So if you are conversant with ES6 features like these arrow functions, you definitely will not have problem with functional components. So this is basically like I'm just creating a function, or you could actually create it with something like this. Maybe you want to say function, but let me just redo that one. This, you could say function. And probably just do the you still do this and it works fine. So simply just have to pick the one you want to use and we're good to go. I don't know why this one's floating. But anyways, let me move back. I like using the ES6 feature of arrow functions. So this is what a functional component look like. So yeah, let me open what a what's it called, a class component look like. So this is a class component. This is what it currently looks like. So if you have conversers with object-oriented programming, you would see this in navbar, extend, React component. So component is a method of React. So that's how you have to say class, navbar, extend. So this is the name of the particular component. Because if you see this particular component, card, footer, so imagine I broke the website. Let me see if I can. Yeah. So this is a website now. in my components, I'm breaking them into sections. This is the nav bar, this is the card in which I can reuse definitely, and this is the footer. So imagine you want to make a website, and all you have to just do is to maybe say nav bar components, put it on top, then say okay, the main components come under, then the footer components stay underneath. That's simply what you are going to do in your app.js or wherever you want to stack them on. So let me open my function-based component. So this is currently what you see outside here. Where this is actually. So yeah, so this is what you currently see. This is the nav bar here. This is the main container here. And then if I add the footer, you're going to see the footer there also. Just like this, the nav bar, the main, and the footer. That's basically how I created the website. So you can see I created it like a Lego block thing. So this is what my nav bar components look like in a class component. This is what it looks like. But let me open the same nav bar as a functional component, in which we've seen the other time. This is what a nav bar in a functional component would look like. So yeah, we have functional components and class components. These are the differences between the functional and the so yeah, coming to props, we are only going to touch props in this particular meeting since our time is actually fast spent. It's supposed to be a 1-hour session, just introducing you to React and getting you comfortable with React. So yeah, this is the card. This particular let me go to my app.js and remove this for now. So let's go to the card. So this particular silver menu, the gold menu, the bronze menu they are seen here. Yeah, these things you are seeing here, they actually is just one component. As you can see, you do not see silver menu, you do not see gold menu or bronze menu in my components. All you see is card. And here is me passing props. This is how you pass props in. This is me destructuring in a functional component. So all you just need to do is to pass your props title, pass your props meal and drink, creating an empty card. Right now, if I just say card, well, okay, this is title. There's currently nothing in the title. Meal dot dot. This fried rice, Chapman, jollof rice, wine. They are dynamic components. So what I did in my main container was that, see, I called card, this particular card component, I called it 3 times. And I passed in the title. You remember that title that was in, what's it called? Curly brackets, the mail, and then I passed them here, and I say title equal to silver menu, drink equals to Chapman, meal equals to fried rice. Then I called the card again. So you can see I'm reusing just one card. I'm using it 3 times, and I created a card stack. I created the silver menu card, I created the gold menu card, and I created the bronze menu card. So that is what React actually gives you access to do. So instead of creating very long things, you could just create components and start reusing them. This is one property of React that makes it very unique and really good. So yeah, I created this particular webpage so that you can come back. Maybe you have problems trying to understand what a class components look like. You could see it. And then when you come to your app.js, I'm currently using what's it called? This app, the function-based components. So if you want to use the class-based components, this particular one, all you just need to do is to change instead of app here. I'm using app here. Just change it to app2, which is the class-based component, and you will still have the same thing. So we render now. And then if you notice something, I don't have to reload the page to see changes. Or you didn't notice that? I don't have to reload the page to see changes. Automatically, as soon as I make changes, React immediately updates it. And that's one freedom that Web 1 would not give you. You have to, or HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Anytime you make a change, you have to reload the page to see what you just did. So with React, you can create a single page application without reloading the page anytime you make changes, or when someone clicks a button to show a particular feature, you don't have to reload the page. So React it's giving you a lot of flexibility, and you don't have to be scared to start working with React. Just jump into it, especially this particular replic. When you come here, you probably see, let me open it in an incognito window. Anyway, you see a particular feature to fork the replit. So you just have to do is to fork the replit, and you can start playing around with it. You can break it, open it, and do anything you want to do with it. So that is the power of React, and hopefully you would get familiar with React. And trust me, as soon as you get familiar with React, you would definitely not want to go elsewhere. You definitely don't want to keep using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So yeah, let's do this one. So that is basically your first or the workshop React website that I just showed you the features of what React did to create that particular website. So that will be all for today.